Solid state logic, also known as SSL, has done it. They have cracked plugin and DAW control, if you ask me. Definitely because they've just updated their software with a new feature called 360 Link. And today I'm going to show you how it works, what I think of it, and my problem with it. So let's get started. When I did my original review of the SSL UC1 and UF8, great product names, my biggest concern was the fact that the SSL 360 ecosystem was a closed ecosystem. And that was the reason why I didn't like them and didn't want to use them in my day-to-day production workflow. And how that ecosystem actually works is you're using the channel strip plugins in your DAW, and through those channel strip plugins it's actually routing the control surfaces and creating its own mixer, which is a genius approach because the other control surface protocols like Mackie Control Universe and OSC and other ones, they don't really work that well, and definitely not in Reaper. So the workflow with these channel strip plugins is really great. However, you are fixed to those SSL channel strips. So that was my biggest concern. I would have rather seen a new open control protocol that the industry would adopt. Another one of my concerns was software updates. So what you see happen a lot with these type of devices is that they do make a good device, they do the necessary software updates for whenever there's a new operating system, but apart from that they don't do a lot. So that was one of my concerns. And basically what SSL has shown over the last 10 months is that they are actually really determined to make this product even better with software updates. They already did a few ones to make the plugin mixer workflow a lot better, a lot easier to use. Like for instance, it can now adopt the track colors as well in your services. So really great. And what I've also seen is a lot of people actually buying the SSL controllers, most of all the UF8 and the UC1. This is the UC1, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, whatever. And everybody that bought these controllers, they all did it for a good reason, because if you ask me, and I've seen a lot of controllers and I've been struggling with this basically since I'm running Reaper, there aren't any good controllers on the market. Every one of them is a compromise. And the solid state logic controllers at this moment, definitely with the update that I'm going to show you, are the ones with the least compromise. They're not perfect yet, but with their determination of software updates, they might become the perfect controller. And of course, if you're running like Pro Tools that has native controllers, yeah, they're probably better. Here's the cool thing that the new SSL 360 Link plugin will enable you to do. So first of all, if you just want to map your channels to the UF8 controller, so just fader, solo, basic channel controls, you can use the 360 Link plugin. I have it somewhere over here. There it is. And it will then link your channel to SSL 360. So you're not running the full channel strip plugin, you're only running the necessary things that you need to run. So you can see it here in 360, and this is what the plugin looks like. Now, what you can do within this 360 Link plugin is host a plugin. Just one. You cannot make a plugin chain or something. Maybe that's a feature that will come in the future. Maybe not. Maybe that doesn't work. You can have multiple 360 Link plugins on one channel. It will show up as multiple channels in 360. But I've been using it for a few weeks already, and it actually feels like a very natural workflow. You basically have to adapt to the fact that you're not scrolling to the channels, you're scrolling through your plugins. I don't know how that will work on the UF8, but on the UC1, it's just very normal. So what we can do now is we can select a plugin in here. Now let's take a new one, one that I haven't mapped yet. So for instance, the SSL native vocal strip. So I can open it in here. It will then host this plugin in 360 Link. And I can now map these buttons to buttons on here. So I can press high pass filter frequency and click high pass filter here, because that's, makes sense. Now it's on here. Now, this is probably because I'm running a screen recording or something. From my own experiences, this worked really smooth, but always if you're demoing something, it doesn't run that smooth. But we have our high pass filter mapped here now. Now, there are multiple ways of mapping things. I can, for instance, click the high shelf gain here and just turn the button here, and it will automatically map it to that knob. Like I'm able to map this EQ section in here in a few seconds, as you can see. Now, for instance, this one over here. Maybe let's put this button here, this button here, or maybe not. Maybe I want to place it somewhere else. One of my concerns is really like, this is of course made like a channel strip, and for some things you don't have the right buttons. Like, where am I going to put my deploser? Am I going to put it, I don't know. Maybe let's put it here and here. And maybe put the on-off knob here and the look ahead here, so I can do this. And now we're running out of knobs because I only have 3 more knobs. So threshold, ratio, whatever. You get the idea. It's just really easy to configure actually, and it's really nice to have these knobs. It's also very frustrating. More on that in a bit. One of the things that isn't possible right now, which I actually have emailed to SSL asking them about, is routing the bus compressor knobs, because on here we have a knob that has the print, attack and release. So for most compressors it makes sense to use these controls instead of these controls. I don't know if this is coming in a future software update. Would make sense if they would do it, but I don't even know if it's technically possible. Like, these knobs are, as far as I know right now, not controllable through 360 link. When you have mapped a plugin within 360 link, it will actually remember it. So if I would remove 360 link here, add it again, and load the native channel strip, I still have my original linking. What has happened to me is that I've mapped a few plugins to this controller, and it actually started to become muscle memory in here. So I think you need to get used to where you map the knobs in the beginning, but it will quickly become muscle memory, at least for me. Now, you can create pretty crazy stuff with this, because what I've did is I mapped the UC1 to my Wes Audio NG bus comp, which is remote controllable. So I can now control my bus comp. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Let's control the attack time. Here it is. Like that. I can turn the transformer on and off. I can basically control everything here, ratio, from this controller. Does it make any sense? I don't know. Right now it's in front of me, so it doesn't make any sense. But what I now can do is put my NG bus comp more in the back of the studio and just control it from this controller. Now, there are still a few nitpicks. For instance, I cannot invert the bypass button. So right now, activating the plugin, like enabling, is actually bypassing the Wes Audio, and the opposite way around. So this should be inverted. Small things. But what SSL has proven with this plugin, at least for me, is that they are listening to their customers. They of course have to keep caring in the future, but for now they're doing a very good job at this. As I said in the beginning of this video, I have one problem with this. It's actually a frustration, because I've been using this for a few weeks now, and as you can see, I've mapped a few plugins to it already that I'm really using a lot. And I'm being really honest with all of you, it works so well that as soon as I had to revert back, I had to put these controllers to the side because I was doing a different project here. I had to use my keyboard and mouse again. That felt ancient. Felt really weird and really frustrating. So the problem I have with the UC1, with the 360 link, is that it is addictive. And that does create another problem, because I think I want to integrate this UC1 with a UF1, because while we're at it, why not do it both, in my workflow. But it doesn't fit on my desk. So now I have to destroy half of my rack here, because it will fit in my rack. It doesn't fit in a normal rack. It's too wide. The UC1 plus the UF1 is too wide for a normal rack. But my racks are a little bit wider because of the strips. So it does fit between the wooden sections. So I have to completely destroy this rack in order to fit this in here. I'm going to 3D print brackets so that it will fit in here, because it has to be custom built. And I'm going to put it here and move away all this beautiful analog stuff because it is such an improvement to workflow and to speed that I simply cannot, ignore this anymore. Which is also countering my original conclusion I had about these controllers. So that's my frustration. But luckily it's a positive thing. What I think is also frustrating me a little bit is that we haven't been able, the audio engineering community, the audio engineering world, hasn't been able to solve this issue, universal controlling issue, in an open and independent way, which would have been the best. However, with SSL opening up this ecosystem, it's basically the same thing. It just has solid state logic printed on it. So yeah, so that's the new SSL 360 link. Check it out. I'll link to it in the description down below. As far as I can see in the documentation, the 360 link plugin is a free of charge download and will be available for all popular formats. So yeah, if you have these controllers, definitely check it out because you'll get more addicted to it than you probably already were. Now, as said, I'm going to try to integrate this in my desk. If you want to see that process, leave a comment down below because then I'll document it and we probably have a very funny video about it because it's going to be some custom work, but I think it's worth it now. Now, full disclosure, SSL did send me these controllers to keep if I liked them. However, that doesn't change my opinion of them because I wouldn't go through the trouble of cutting out all the stuff in my desk if they simply wouldn't benefit my workflow. My studio is not that big that I can just stack up equipment that people send me. Everything in my studio has to perform really well for my mixing and mastering business. However, I do care about disclosure a lot and I think it's something you should know. I'm always very determined to stay independent and to say whatever I think about a product without any limits. And SSL hasn't been limiting in what I can or cannot say. They didn't make any scripts or something. This is just my own view and my own opinion. If you appreciate that and want to support me, because also SSL is not paying me, nobody is paying me, everything comes from the community. Make sure to check out my affiliate links, Thomann, Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique. If you use an affiliate link, a little bit of your purchase gets kicked back to the creator of that affiliate link. In this case, that's me. I will also make sure to link to the UF1 and UC1, so the two products you're seeing here, in the description down below as an affiliate link to Thomann and Sweetwater. If you don't want me to get that kickback, simply just Google SSL UC1 and you'll get a shop link without an affiliate stuff attached to it, whatever you want. But please be aware that a little bit of your purchase gets kicked back to me if you use my affiliate links. Last way to support me is by becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to videos and some extra content. I'll link an interesting playlist over here. And if you don't want to become a channel member but want to watch more videos, you can do that by checking out this one. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep pushing and bye bye.